God, what a metaphor. Then he said that we come to the nation's capital to cash a check because black people don't got a bounce check. He called it promissory note. Let me update it for you. Bounce check. I know you students understand that. You've written many of them to William and Mary. Oh, what had happened was, that's the wrong check. King said, you've issued a check, but we refuse to believe that the great faults of democracy are empty. In other words, nation better have my money. He said the whirlwinds of revolt will continue to shake the foundations of this nation until the Negro is granted his or her full citizenship rights. He talked about police brutality. He said the Negroes in the South cannot vote, and the Negroes in the North believe they have nothing for which to vote. Then, when Mahalia Jackson on the side of the stage whispered to him, because even when you keep black women from being on stage with your black patriarchy and your male supremacy, their voices go where their bodies can't. That still might be true. But what's interesting, Mahalia said, tell them about the dream, Martin. Mahalia Jackson, for those who don't know, was the greatest gospel singer of her era, some say of all time. He put the paper down because he was reading. King wasn't at his best reading. He didn't have no teleprompter. No disrespect to Obama, to Bush, and to presidents. They ain't got time to be writing all that stuff. King learned it in his heart. Put the paper down. And then he began to flow. Let freedom ring from the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire, he said. And before that, he said, I have a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream one day my four little children will live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. Now people have extracted those 34 words uttered when he was 34 years old to make them the summum bonum of his existence. As if that's the only thing he had. They reduced King to being Drake, and Drake with one hit, best I ever had. And he done made some more jams with Rihanna. His ostensible and alleged one-night lover. I just keep on top of it. I just want to let you know. As if King had one song to sing, one hit, one note. He gave many speeches after that dream speech, and he said, my dream has turned into a nightmare. But America ignores it and obscures it. And so he transformed that tradition. He challenged white supremacy. He challenged American practices in war, militarism, poverty, and racism. He linked them together. He said the bombs that are in Vietnam explode back home in Watts in the ghetto. Then black leaders start turning on, what are you doing? You're messing up. You're criticizing Lyndon Baines Johnson. He's been good to us. He's been very good to us. And he was. Lyndon Baines Johnson was better good to black people than the Kennedys. And arguably the greatest president since Lincoln. For real. Yes, this so-called redneck Texan politician who cussed and called black people niggas, King himself, when he heard King speak out against the Vietnam War, he called him a goddamn nigger preacher. But that white supremacist president did more for black people. It ain't never pure. It's always funky and intermixed. Did more for black people institutionally and politically than any president since Lincoln, and certainly more than the one now. The slide begins. And so King challenged American practices in the Vietnam War, and black leaders turned against him, and white Americans turned against him, and the press ripped his Nobel Prize from his grasp. They used to always say Dr. King, Nobel Peace Prize winner. Now they said Martin Luther King Jr. Didn't even call him doctor, didn't even call him a Nobel Peace Prize winner. How are you going to be upset that a man who won the Nobel Peace Prize would speak out against war? Oh, Obama won it, and yet he's conducting 2 wars. I see. So Martin Luther King Jr. was unpopular by the time he died. And I'm almost done, but hang with me. By the time he meets 1968, he is no longer voted among the 10 most admired Americans. For the first time in 10 years, he didn't make that list on the Gallup poll. Very few universities wanted to hear from him. No American publisher was interested in his next book. His own black college wouldn't put him on the board of trustees until 1965, 2.5 years before he died. Why? Because the white board of trustees leader, Brother Merrill and Lynch, said that King was a poor role model. Why? Because he went to jail too often. He wasn't selling crack. I've got some stuff in my hand that'll blow your mind. Got these pills that'll bring you thrills. Doing that? That was Jesse one king. Right. He was trying to challenge the authority and dominion of American democratic contradiction. His own organization refused to side with him and is speaking out against the war in Vietnam. King said, if every Negro leader in America chooses not to speak about it, that's their business. I will stand where I am. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. He transformed America, but it was bloody. People got mad at him. He was unpopular. What you think about Jesse Jackson right now was right about where King was, but worse. Couldn't fill a building. People didn't come to hear him talk. Unpopular. Gave all his money to the movement. He made something like $200,000 in the 1960s. That's mad cheddar. A lot of money. That's a lot of money right now, given this account. You can imagine how much money that was back then. Gave it all except $6,000 to the movement. To join the $4,000 or vice versa that he got from his church, where he co-pastored with his daddy, for an unprincely sum of $10,000 for 4 children and a wife to support. Wife begged him to buy a house. He didn't believe in the personal ownership of property after he had gone to India. Finally convinced him, and then when he bought one in the hood. And she was still vulnerable. His wife and children. Down to wearing 3 suits. A nearly Spartan existence. Everything committed. His book royalties were given to his alma mater. Martin Luther King Jr. was depressed. Smoked cigarettes, had to drink a little bit. Why wouldn't they? Some of us would have been toe up. Get up to give the speech, we'd be messed up. Hey, how you do? Why wouldn't he be depressed? The government trying to undermine his relationship, sending his wife tapes. It's deep enough to stay married without nobody messing with him.